federal taxes. You owe $72,452.16.
Whoa, folks. Listen, those were your tax numbers from last year, okay? It says right here on this sticky note that you're gonna watch this entire video to learn how you can use small business tax deductions to lower your tax liability. Because you definitely don't wanna spend more in taxes for another year, another month, another week, another day, another— Sean, really? Really? All right, give me your mic. So today we're gonna look at how you can start reducing your tax liability by taking advantage of small business tax deductions. Hey, I'm Sean with Life Accounting, the accounting company that saves people from poor financial decisions and no growth. In these times, whether your business is booming or on the ropes, then you want to make sure you're taking advantage of some smart tax deductions, because like clockwork, taxes come due every year. You can't avoid it, and if you try, you'll definitely get busted. So for many people, tax season is a drag. But what if I told you that it didn't have to be this way? What if you actually look forward to tax season every year? It's hard to believe, right? Well, when you take advantage of small business tax deductions, then filing can actually be an enjoyable experience. Hey Sean, this is your accountant, man. Hey, I know it's that time of the year that you don't like, but I wanted to give you a call, see if we could schedule a time, maybe next week, to sit down and file your tax return. Yeah, of course, man. I'm actually looking forward to it this year. I'm outside your office right now. I'm ready to get it done. Now, in 2020, depending on your income, your tax bracket could be as high as 37%. For example, if you make $100, then $37 could be given away to taxes. So that's $37 that's gone, finished, lost. Sean, really? No, please, no. Give me your mic. Give it to me. Okay, so today I'm gonna go over 14 small business tax deductions that you need to know about. But before I dive in, make sure you hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm and you subscribe for more financial videos. All right, let's go ahead and get started by defining what a tax deduction is. According to the IRS, business expenses are the cost of carrying a business. And these expenses are usually deductible if a business operates to make a profit. So the next logical question is, what can you deduct? Well, to be deductible, a business expense must be both ordinary and necessary. So an ordinary expense is usually a common and accepted business expense, whereas a necessary expense is something that you need in order to operate your business. Also, it's important to separate all these expenses by the cost of goods, capital expenses, and especially personal expenses.
We know you're home, and we have you surrounded. Your tax returns are fraud. Do not move.
Okay, whoa. Maybe the IRS won't show up at your house, but you want to make sure you're doing things right so you can avoid an audit. All right, let's go ahead and look at some categories that are 100% tax deductible, meaning that they deduct from your revenue dollar for dollar. Starting with number 1, professional services. When you're starting and operating a business, you'll likely need some help. You may require some legal advice, an industry consultant, or an accountant. Thankfully, these expenses and the rest on this list can be deducted from your revenue tax-free, which again could be saving you up to $37 for every $100 that you spend. So it's kind of like the IRS giving you exclusive discounts because you're a small business. But if you don't use it, you lose it. So if this is something that you need or that can help you in your business, and definitely don't shy away from the expense. All right, let's go on to deduction number 2, advertising and promotion. When you have everything you need to operate and start selling, then the next step is to start advertising. Because if no one hears about your business, then no one will care. So make sure you're advertising your business and using this deduction. All right, the third deduction is very important because a lot of businesses have this expense, which are bank fees. Having separate bank accounts and credit cards are always a good idea so you can properly categorize your business expenses. And if your bank or credit card charges fees, then all these can be deductible. Even third-party fees that are hosted on tools like PayPal and Stripe are also deductible. But make sure you keep watching to find out what my favorite deduction is. Moving on, the fourth deduction you can use is also a common and necessary business expense, which are taxes and licensing fees. Depending on your business entity, you may have an annual license fee which you can thankfully deduct. And by the way, if you don't know what an entity is, then make sure you watch our video on LLC versus S Corp, as well as our video on how to start a business in 2020, where we cover the pros and the cons. All right, let's move on to the fifth deduction, which are your travel fees. Perfect, yeah, I just flew first class to Aruba, stayed at a 5-star resort, and I got the unlimited drink package, so let's make sure we put that down. Okay, not that kind of travel expense. This deduction must be used for business travel only. So if you're doing a consultation or setting up an event out of town, then those expenses are more likely to be qualified. Moving on to deduction number 6, your rent. If you rent your location or any type of equipment, and you can deduct those expenses from your income. Keep in mind, we're talking about a business location, not your actual home. If you want to do this, then you'll have to use your personal tax return. Now, if you love food like me, then this next deduction is for you. Number 7, business meals. You can deduct food and beverage costs under a few conditions. First, like the others, the expense must be ordinary and necessary for your business. Second, the meal cannot be lavish or extravagant under the circumstances. And lastly, the business owner or employee must be present at the meal. And as long as those are in place, you can deduct 50% of expenses for employee meals and up to 100% of meals that are for an event such as an office party or a picnic. All right, now that we're full from the business meal expense, let's move on to deduction number 8. And my personal favorite, the telephone and internet expenses. In my opinion, every business should be investing into the internet and look for the most optimal performance. And as a small business, you can deduct that directly from your income. So there's no excuses. Take advantage of this and make sure you're getting the best internet package that you possibly can so that you can work at top speed. Moving on to deduction number 9, interest payments. If you're starting a business on a loan, then sometimes the interest payments can be a drag on your growth. Luckily, you can spend less time worried about the interest and more time focused on the growth, because you can deduct all the interest payments from your loans on your business tax returns, as long as you meet these requirements. First, you are the one that's legally liable for the loan, so it's in your name and you're responsible for it. Secondly, both you and the lender expects the loan to be repaid, because if it's not, then it's considered a gift. And thirdly, you have a true lender and creditor relationship. The IRS tends to scrutinize loans from family and friends. All right, let's keep going with deduction number 10, business insurance. Being in business can be risky. Hey sir, here's your food. Yuck, ugh. Your food gave me a bad attitude and I'm suing you guys for $100,000. Okay. Business insurance is important to protect your company from outrageous claims and time-wasting activities. And this insurance is another deductible for your business taxes. Let's move on to deduction number 11, salary and benefits. This one should be obvious, but you can also deduct 100% of all the salaries and benefits that you may pay your team as an employer. Hey boss, since you can deduct my salary, does that mean I can get a raise? That's not how that works. Let's move on to deduction number 12, education costs. Education costs are fully deductible when they add value to your business and increase your expertise. In order to make sure your expenses are qualified, the IRS will look at whether the expenses maintains or improves the skills that your company needs to be successful. So you can deduct things like classes, webinars, subscriptions paid to publications, books, workshops, transportation to all these classes to and from as education expenses, which again could help you win and dominate in your industry. Pushing along to deduction number 13, depreciation. When you purchase a business asset such as equipment, then depreciation can deduct from your income. Depreciation rules require that you spread out the cost over the asset's lifetime, but in some cases, it can be accelerated. Depreciation can be more complicated than the other business deductions, so if you have a lot of business assets, then I recommend you work with an accountant that can help you out with depreciation. Lastly, I have some bonus deductions if you're a small business owner for your personal tax returns as well. The previous deductions mentioned can be claimed using the Schedule C or Form 1065, but there are other small business breaks that you can claim on your individual tax return, such as charitable contributions, retirement contributions, and healthcare expenses. So in conclusion, those are my major small business tax deductions that you must use. But there are definitely more. Now I want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments below which deduction that you like the most. And since you made it to the end, you might as well subscribe and check out some of our other videos. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.